Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today I want to talk about the top lane situation for Team Liquid because they have a very interesting offseason ahead of them where they're going to have to make some very big choices, and there's some really spicy rumors and names being thrown around, so we'll talk about that. But first, two things. One, I do have this 100 Thieves jersey that I framed and put up in the background this weekend. It was my big project. I think it looks cool. I want to start adding more and more stuff to my room into the background, so hey, give me some nice comments, some nice feedback, or roast it, whatever. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you check out the first link in the description below for my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/I_am_germ. I stream there a lot. Drop a follow, drop a prime. That'd be awesome. With that being said, let's get into today's video. So, Team Liquid has been the topic of discussion a lot recently. They have a very big offseason ahead of them. There's a ton of different rumors and speculation going around. There is Bjergsen to Team Liquid rumors. There is Jensen 80 carry for Team Liquid rumors. There is, are they going to sell off Tactical? Is Alphari leaving? Are they going to re-sign Santorin? Are they going to import a jungler? Are they going to import a top laner? Are they going to get a new 80 carry? Reckless, Hansama, Karzi, Doggo, all these different names. And all this different craziness. But I do think top lane is one of the most interesting situations and scenarios for them. So obviously, we all know they had some big drama throughout the season with Alphari going on. And it seemed like things maybe got a little bit better. Things maybe got cleared up. But it seems like more and more what I'm hearing is that Alphari wants to leave Team Liquid and probably wants to leave North America altogether. I don't know if that part of it is 100% confirmed, but it does seem like Perkz is going back to Europe and Alphari probably wants to go with him on the same team as him if possible. So, don't rule out Alphari as a top laner for Team Liquid completely, but it does seem like, he even said himself, he was very upset, very angry, very frustrated about the situation that went down this season with Jat, with Team Liquid, with everybody, and he even considered, not finishing the season with the team. So, potentially a return to Europe, especially now that his stock is super high, he can probably go to a good team, he can go to a good roster, could be in order, but that starts begging the question, if Alphari leaves, which I do think is likely, who is the replacement going to be? And one of the options, one of the big names that is floating around, and this is a big rumor at this point, and obviously, some Twitter follows always make things interesting. Wunder recently followed Steve, Liquid Steve, on Twitter. Yes, that Liquid Steve, the owner, CEO, whatever, co-CEO of Team Liquid, on Twitter. And again, LEC Ditto has all these tweets all the time of people following, unfollowing people, and most of the time it doesn't mean anything, but every once in a while it does mean something. People were talking about how Bwipo unfollowed everybody on Fnatic, and then we find out a couple days later that there was a ton of drama going on inside Fnatic, that Bwipo was upset with the team, and now, Bwipo's rumored to be leaving. So we do know that sometimes the follows and unfollows and stuff do actually make sense, and it also, something like this, I don't think makes it that Wunder is going to Team Liquid, but I do think it can kind of convince us that Wunder has probably at least been talking to Team Liquid. Wunder and Steve have probably at least recently spoke, and now they're either following each other so they could exchange DMs, or they're following each other because now they have talked and now they've met, and now, it's appropriate to follow each other on social media or whatever, or it could mean that potentially Wunder is heading to Team Liquid. Obviously, if Team Liquid does end up with Alphari leaving, they're going to have a top lane position open, and as long as CoreJJ is able to get its green card this offseason, which again most people think is pretty likely at this point, TL is going to have plenty of import spots open. If they're able to get Bjergsen, Jensen, CoreJJ as their bottom 3 of the map, they're going to have 2 import slots open for the top lane. They also, there's a bunch of different options for lineups they could go with. Even if they just keep Jensen, Tactical, CoreJJ, they're going to have 2 import slots open. If they go Santorin, Jensen, or Bjergsen, import 80 carry CoreJJ, then they would still have an import slot open for the top lane. So, top lane isn't the best position necessarily in the West, but there is a couple of these big good ones out there. And being able to go after a big import one could be really cool for Team Liquid. So, one of the names that is floating around is definitely Wunder. Now, people are saying, oh, Wunder has flamed NA so much, he's memed on NA so much, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's like, yeah, he has while he was on G2, trying to win world championships, but all of a sudden, this last year changed a lot of stuff, and now maybe Wunder wants to go get paid. Also, NA did just as good, if not slightly better than EU at Worlds this past year. So flaming NA too much doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And also, if Wunder sees the team that Team Liquid is forming, and he has an opportunity to go play on that team, and it seems like a good opportunity for him where he can also make a lot of money, I think it would be really, really cool. I also think this would be a good pickup for Team Liquid because even though Wunder did not have a great 2021 season, we've heard, grabs come out and talk about him, how a lot of the stuff behind the scenes is memes. This guy works really hard. He practices hard. Maybe he doesn't play as much solo queue as other people, that's true, but he doesn't, always troll scrims. He's not always, messing around. He is a very, very serious competitive person, loves winning, loves playing on top teams. And I think a potential Wunder to Liquid, coming together could be very, very good for both parties and would give Wunder a chance to kind of build his reputation back up and really show people what he can still do. And honestly, at this point, I am going to say that I think Wunder is the most likely top laner for Team Liquid in 2022. Now, obviously, they're going to have a ton of different options, both North American, domestic, whatever, and imports. But I would say Wunder is at least my leader in the clubhouse. Now, there is also another very, very big option that I think needs to be talked about. Again, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the video, but Bwipo and Fnatic, this is from Bloop, are going to be parting ways together after the last 4 years. Bwipo is going to explore free agency, and he is looking for a potential top lane comeback. Now, on one hand, I do think that Bwipo is probably most likely to stay in Europe because, his relationship issues, all that stuff. I think it'd be really, really hard for him to just jump ship, go over to America. I got to imagine that makes any relationship issues a million times harder. And obviously, it seems like his relationship, girlfriend, all that stuff is very, very important to him, even relative to his career, which is fine, whatever. I'm not judging or anything like that. It's a little bit funny, but not going to judge too much. But if he did decide that he was willing to come over to North America, or he's just going to, go to the best offer, or whatever he needs to do what's best for his career, I think Team Liquid would be actually a really, really cool option because, again, there's just not a ton of good top lane options available. And if Team Liquid is stuck with no top laner, I think you could do much worse than Bwipo in the top lane. Now, just like it's fair to have questions about Wunder, I think it's very, very fair to have questions about Bwipo. Obviously, Bwipo played much better in the spring split than he did in the summer split. But played much better in the summer split than he did in the spring split. But in the summer split, he was a jungler. In the spring split, when he was a top laner, the last we saw of him, he wasn't all that great. Now, can he regain his old form? Can he get back to the old days? Was it just one bad split? Yeah, I could see a lot of that. And I could see him, having a nice little resurgence with Team Liquid. But to me, these two guys kind of seem like the two big name import options that Team Liquid could potentially be looking at. I don't really see a ton of other options that make sense for Team Liquid. But I think either of these guys would be very, very interesting. I think they'd be very, very big pickups. I know there's going to be people who are definitely critical about both of them or either of them and maybe wouldn't want them. But I really think you can't go wrong with either of these guys. And if you get some team that looks like Wunder, Santorin, Bjergsen, Jensen, Core JJ, that's a pretty damn good team. You can also go with something like, there's inspired rumors. You could go like Bwipo inspired Jensen, or Bjergsen, Jensen, Core JJ. I think that is a very, very crazy team. I mean, you can still go something like Wunder with Santorin, Jensen, and like Hansama, Karzi, Reckless with Core JJ. TL has a bunch of different options. I'm really hoping that they do hit on one of these super teams. But again, to have like this super star-studded roster, it's going to start by needing to get a big name in the top lane. And again, to me, the two realistic and the two options that I'm starting to hear more and more, it's kind of between Wunder and Bwipo at this point. And I'm not sure which way it's going to go. Again, I'm leaning towards Wunder, but I think Bwipo would be a very, very good option for Team Liquid as well. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. Who do you think should or will be the top laner for Team Liquid in 2022? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to save today and all my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!